Hello ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to another video from myself, Oswald Lyric Vividar. I'm currently playing Swtor again. Over the last 10 years I've absolutely adored this video game, and it's still going to be predominantly my go-to MMO that I will go to, excuse me. Anyway, getting back to the picture, sorry, I've got acid reflux and it's really starting to take the wind out of me. Right, so, getting back to the picture, since 7.0, Swtor has made a massive decline in people. And there are many reasons why. Mainly, I feel that the gearing system sucks. Now, okay, you can sit there and say, okay, Oswald, what gear rating do you have? I'm on currently 399 gear. Now, as you can well tell, I have been nerfing Nim. I've been doing a lot of nerf and Nim recently, hence 8 times a week I've been doing just that, to get my gear from 326 to 330. It's been an absolute doddle for me because I've got 8 tanks, so it means I can just use the same character or my ults over and over and over again. This is why I actually adore this new expansion, because you come up to the character sheet and you go to combat styles, and there you have it, Juggernaut. I've now got Guardian too. So you get to pick 2 classes, and from that you can then do whatever content you want. For me, I'm a tank, so the thing I like about the combat style system is that a Jedi or a Sith can't be a commando or a mercenary, for instance. It's only Sith and Jedi classes to Sith and Jedi characters. The same with ranged characters to ranged abilities and ranged classes. So like mercenaries, bounty hunters, power techs, vanguards, commandos, various operative, scoundrel, gunslinger and sniper can only play those classes, and Jedi and Sith can only play those classes, right? Which I think is a wonderful aspect, because that's now given me the ability of playing classes that I never used to play before, but had them because, well, you know, I wanted to get my legendary status, for instance, where you've got to play every single class, you know. So you end up, for me, when I did my warrior first, I've got my warrior, that's my tank. My inquisitor was either a healer or another tank. Personally, I leveled up as a healer, and I went from there, and then I made a tank later on down the line, but I don't really like Sith Inquisitor for tank. I just don't like it. And it's the same as the Shadow. I just don't like Shadow and Assassin tanking. I couldn't stand it. And it's the same for pretty much the Vanguard and Power Tech. I like it, but I don't like it. I just find that I'm far more suited for Juggernaut and Guardian. And it's the same with like the Scoundrel and the Operative, or the Imperial Agent line to the Smuggler line, was the fact that I just don't like the classes. So this has given me the ability now to play those classes, because there's only 2 classes I really like playing, and that's Warrior and Jedi Knight. And for ranged units, that will be the Bounty Hunter Merc and the Commando, the Trooper Commando, for instance. And that's exactly what I've done. So all my ranged units have now become mercenaries or commandos. And it's the same for all my Sith warriors. All my Sith have done the same, and the Guardians have done the same. All I've done is I've basically made all my Jedi Knights into Guardians and all my Siths into basically Juggernauts. And job done. And the same for my commandos, and the same for, well, same for my ranged, blah blah blah, right? So that's 2 sets of gear. That's it. 2 sets. 2 sets of gear. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more. Just 2 sets of gear. So I only have to get my tanking gear and my DPS gear. Now currently at the moment with the state of where the game currently is, mercenary DPS and commando DPS are not very good, but apparently so that's going to change with the new expansion. Hopefully change with the new expansion is what I'm hoping, but we will see, because at the moment they suck, right? Absolutely suck for DPS. I don't understand what is wrong with SWTOR. They keep killing off characters, and then you wonder why you can't find any players to play them, because you're basically killing off that class. You know, it's almost like me coming back to the game and you're going, right, no more tanking on Warrior, on Juggernaut and Guardian. All the operations from now on will have to be done with Assassin and Shadow. You'd have a lot of people not liking that, because if you were to only make the content for Assassins and Shadows, what about all the power techs? What about all the Guardians and Juggernauts? It's ridiculous. You know, you can't just do that. You're cutting out a majority of the players that like those classes, and in the end you just flood the game with people that don't want to pay for it and don't want to play it. And this is what's happening now, is that people have become very disappointed with what's happened in 7.0, and I've noticed a lot of people are very, very angry. I was ahhing when I started watching the videos only a few months ago from Swtor, Swat Central, a friend of mine that actually the guy showed me how to do Nerf and Nim. He joined the group and I joined the group shortly afterwards. He was my co-tank, and he spent a good hour with me teaching me Nerf and Nim, which I'm absolutely amazingly grateful for, because I finally got to conquer that so I could do it to get my gear, because now it's the only fucking way to get the gear. And this is what annoys me with SWTOR and the people that make it, is that you are automatically forcing us again, those that don't want to do that content, to do that content. Make us and give us the gear so that the Conquest gear allows us to get to 330. The Flashpoint gear allows us to get to 330. Operations gear allows us to get to 330. PvP allows us to get to 330. Allow us to get our fucking gear with the content that we want to play, not the content that you want us to play, because it's not fair. There are plenty of people out there that don't like how vile operations are, and how vile PvP can be, and how vile flashpoints can get. They just want to play the fucking game and just enjoy it without all the vile, toxic bullshit that SWTOR has founded over the years, which really grinds my gears with this game. Because if you assholes weren't so nasty to each other, you're sitting there complaining all day that there's fucking no one playing. That might be your attitude problem to the way you treat people while you're in game. Having a go at them for no reason whatsoever. I had the same thing in an ops group the other day while I was doing Eternal Vault. We got to the pylons and this clown decided to have a go at somebody, all because they were new to hard mode. They'd already done easy mode, but story mode, but they'd never done hard mode. And they told me this before I created the group. And I said during, this guy's new to hard mode, I'm teaching him. Please be gentle. Got to the pylons, everything was fine up until the pylon. Got to the pylon and straight away, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. And in the end I ended up putting my foot down and look, shut up, it's an operation. We haven't even wiped yet. All he's done is come over to the wrong fucking side, that's it. Stop ranting and raving like you are. I'll bring him to you, which is what I told him I was going to fucking do in a whisper. If you would have held on for all of 2 fucking minutes for me to do a ready check, you'd have known just that. I am the group lead, not fucking you. You don't start the boss without a ready check. End of. You know, fuck you. I'm the tank. I start the raid, not a DPS. And in the end, this guy was like, me. I'm like, I don't care. My group, if you don't like it, leave. This is how I run my raids. If you want to rant and rave all day long in yours, fine by me, but just don't expect me to be your tank because I'm not going to listen to it. Fuck off. Kicked him out of the group, told the guy to come back in. He was like, nah, I'm not going to do operations anymore. I've had enough, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, fucking done you. Here we are, another person who no longer wants to do operations. And I wonder fucking why. It's the way you guys treat people while you game with them. Stop being so fucking vile, and we might actually have some decent players. And if you do find a guy that is struggling, I had the same thing with Stroke My fucking Wookie the other day, where I was in a flashpoint with this clown from Stroke My Wookie. It was having a go at me because apparently so I was a shit tank. And I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? Like, I do master mode, operations, and veteran operations, like Scum and Villainy, Temple of Sacrifice, you name it, I do it. You know, I'm sat on, currently, 35,900 achievements in this game. Most of that has come from, there we go, 30% in operations. Okay, so there's some that I haven't actually completed yet, but there is a good amount that I have done. Yes, okay, so I'm new to like Nature of Progress and various other bits and pieces, but that's because Nature of Progress, believe you me, bored the fucking shit out of me because of Stroke My Wookie and how they lead their fucking crews. Like, you know, the only people that were able to get you through it were Stroke My Wookie, but the way they used to lead them back when it first came out, I mean, I at least explain the fucking tactics to somebody and then wonder why we're wiping because you're not explaining shit. You know, it drives me nuts. It really does. Anyway, getting back to the picture, like, honestly, like, if you really want to see more people play this game, stop ranting at each other and just enjoy the fucking game. Like PvP, that's the place for ranting and raving. It's the most vile and toxic fucking situation you can ever put yourself involved in. Go play some PvP. But even then there's no need for it. You're not going to win every fucking match. Behave yourself. You know, there is always going to be a losing team, regardless. In any battle, you look at 1066 or the Battle of Agincourt, someone's got to lose, haven't they? Someone's got to fucking lose. Either there's 8 people that are going to lose, or 4 people. And, you know, you are not going to win every single match. And the sooner you guys realise that, the better. Honestly, the sooner you realise that you cannot win every single... And it's the same thing and same concept in life. Stop expecting to fucking win every time and just take the loss like a man. Like, you are not going to win every single thing in life, every single time. It is impossible. Impossible. You know... And this is what society doesn't teach us today, is the fact that, you know, how to deal with a loss. And you look at people now, like they lose something, and it's almost like World War fucking 5 just broke out. You know, well, unfortunately that's just life. You just have to get back on the horse and try again. Stop giving up and get up. Like, so what? Brush yourself down. And in all fairness, do you know what? I'm a man that's lost a lot in his life, and I've learned a lot from all those losses over all the victories I've had. Now, if I could have come away with one victory in my life, is that I'm still breathing. That's it. Because there are plenty of times the last few months, and even the last few years, and even the last decade, where I could have been dead. Like the way I've been living my life for the last 10 years, like I'm surprised I'm not even dead now. Like, realistically, you know, my body's had a fuck enough of it. Like, it's giving up. Like, it's bound to eventually. And it's why I'm in the situation that I am now. My body's basically giving up because it can't tolerate with being abused anymore. You know? So it's basically almost like fighting me to basically fill it, you know. And the problem is I can't. Like, it's just impossible for me to be able to make so many changes at once. But that's none of your business. That's my concern, you know. I'll deal with that when I get round to it, but neither here or there. With SWTOR, I've come back over the last couple of weeks and I've really enjoyed the time. I mean, I have predominantly really enjoyed my time playing, and it's because I've played alongside some of the best raiders who have hearts of fucking gold, and most of these guys know who I am. So when I come on Fleet and go, nerf and him, need blah 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 blah, straight on it. You know, if I'm on Fleet and say I need this for this and this and this, people are straight on it because they know I'm a tank. You know, they even call me, oh, it's the tanky tank. You know, because I only play tanks. You know, I go to light side, it's the same thing. I come this side, it's the same thing. And there are plenty of guys here that I've made little friendships with along the way. Who they, you know, I can have a little laugh and a joke on general chat with them, and then they're like, I know your chat in some way. I think I can guess who you are, and they'll go, is that Fez? And I'm like, oh, you caught me out, you know, and blah blah blah. Won't mention any names, stuffed, but never mind. But yeah, it's a good game, and if you can make some really good friends in it, then so be it. I mean, I've just created a new guild. I've just started up only yesterday. Okay, so it's a bit of a joke, but I couldn't really help it. You know, why not? And I love making a play on words. I really do. Like my light side guild is called This Little Piggy. It's a reopened guild that I lost a couple of years ago. I reopened it the other day, and I renamed the flagship for it. Instead of calling it the market like it used to be. So This Little Piggy went to the market. It's now This Little Piggy Sty in the Sky. And I thought that play on words was sty in the sky was brilliant, because pigs live in sties and it's a sty in a sky. So perfect. This one, Sith out of luck and Sith my pants. Now I'm pretty well known in PvP too. I play a lot of PvP myself. I do about 10 matches a day now to build up my valor. I've basically come back to complete achievements that I wanted to cover, and rebuild my friendships with friends that are playing the game. I've got a couple of friends that play this game, and we've basically made our new guild together, and they kind of pulled me back to the game and said, look, come on, we need a tank, you know, come back. And I came back and I was like, what the fuck, this gear system is really bad. Because you go into SM Op, this is the discussion that I want to discuss, the thing that I'd like to discuss with myself and other people around the world about the gear system, is that I hate the fact that you're doing content but not actually getting rewarded for it. So like, regardless of, you know, I could be, you know, 320 for instance, and yet do SM operations and only get 320 gear, over the fact that if I go into another one I can get better gear. You know, I get that doing the harder modes of them is more rewarding and appealing, but you're almost forcing people that don't want to do that content to do it, which is not really fair. You know, you can't expect everybody to be into operations. It's why you've got, like, this is the big misunderstanding, misconception of gearing in this game, is that you've now brought back the idea and concept of having so many vendors. Like, you've brought a conquest vendor for those that just want to do dailies. Brilliant. Cover that on fucking dailies. Only conquest tokens and daily tokens. You then have an ops vendor who does pure fucking ops. That's it. And only charges ops currency instead of it being daily currency, you know. And the same for flashpoints, because now I've got to do flashpoints and do dailies in order to gain my fucking gear, but I don't want the daily gear because it's shite. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to reward yourself with shit gear doing shit things that you don't want to do? I just want to play ops and get my gear that way. The same with the flashpoints. You know, for those that really like flashpoints but don't like operations, they can just do it all in flashpoints and just use flashpoint currency. And the same with PvP. You get a set of PvP gear, blah 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 blah, and off you go. The only difference is, obviously, most PvPers, like, 7.0 comes out, say a year down the line, 7.0 still out. By that point, the gear's like, 340, but to start, you're at 320. You are not going to do any damage against guys in 340 gear in comparison to 320. So there needs to be some form of cap on it. Like, the PvP gear really needs to be capped at possibly just 320. Like, done. And the other disappointing thing is, for over the years, I was expecting to go to Fleet, go to my crew skill vendors, and update my crew skills, and start the new level of crafting, to then find out there's no more crafting. I'm like, what the fuck? No more crafting? Why? Why? Take a look at my gear. Now, just take a look. You'll notice the absolute abomination of what they've done to the game. There are no mods, there are no more hilts, there are no more enhancements. It's just that. That's it. There's no way to enhance them. Nothing to put inside it. The amplifying system's gone entirely, which, oh fuck me, thank you! That was the biggest mistake that you guys ever did, and wonder why the currency system is so bad. I mean, no offence, but if you're looking at the prices on the trade screen at the moment, yes, I know it's a fucking joke. And they're all banging on about inflation, inflation, inflation. Let me just tell you now. Let's go to the cartel screen a second. Let's go to add some cartels. Let's scroll down to the payment option. Oh, look at that! £1.80 for 250 cartels. Same fucking price. 450 for 3. 1,050 for 6. 12 quid for 2,400. 24 quid for 5,500. 63 quid for 14,500. The fucking price hasn't changed, you retard. What fucking inflation? There is no inflation in Star Wars. You fucking retards. Like, come on. It's just greedy people being... And the point of the matter is, you can only hold 104 billion in your legacy cargo, and then 4 billion on each character. So why are you whining that you don't have enough credits? There's plenty of room for everybody. Stop selling everything for billions. Last time I brought a hypercrate in this game was about 450 million credits. I came back to the game to buy a hypercrate off GTN. I literally signed into my character, went on here and typed in hypercrate. Yeah, empty. Do you know why it's empty? Because they go for 4.2 billion credits. 4.2 billion. Commander's tokens no longer on GTN. The gear set that I had only a year ago and found literally in my inventory from opening up a hypercrate, well, at the time was worth about 50 million. My Sinister set, the last time I saw someone sell it on Fleet, tried 1.7 billion. Yes, 1.7 billion from an armour set. Now I brought this Reaver set for 500 million. I then brought red dice, made them, blah 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 blah, done it myself. And I'm quite happy. All my alts are in the same gear. Well, all my tanks are. And I've got mercenary gear for, my mercenaries because, hey, that's what I like. And I've got commando gear for my commandos. It looks nice. But I've only got 3 gear sets. Why not? The point is, allow people to play the content they want, and you will find that more people come back. And in all fairness, EA, you're going to have to listen to this now. It is time to give this fucking game up to somebody that wants to put money into it. You clearly do not want to invest the time or capacity into your community, into your gameplay players. You know, you're creating all this content for us because we're paying a subscription, but it's almost like you're not making enough effort. Stop giving us these little tiny 4-hour fucking expansions every couple of months and just release some fucking content for us to play. Like, actually sit down, make some fucking content like you do for all your other fucking games and release it like you did back in the day when you released the Rise of the Hutt Cartel or the Revenant one. I can't remember the name of it. You know, instead of releasing it like with the chapter series that you did, like where you released a chapter every 2 months. It's not enough content. You can only play something so much before you get bored of it. Release us some content. And then halfway through the 2-year process, release a small update. Like you did with, say, CZ 198, for instance. Gave us 2 more flashpoints and a daily planet. And then you gave us Oricron. And then you gave us, what was it after that? Oh, Ziost. All 3 fucking updates. You know? Brilliantly planned out and brilliantly built into the game to move on to the next part of the game. But in this, now we get fucking nothing. And then you wonder why everyone's fucking off to play something else. And why you're not making enough revenue. And yet you are making enough revenue. You're just not sticking it back into the game that's making you, right this second, a fuck ton of money. That eventually people are going to stop paying. And are stop paying. Because they're fed up with signing in, listening to people moaning on about there's no fucking content to play. There is plenty of content to play in this game. It's just you fuckers won't make it. Giving us 1 extra operation every 2 years, sorry, but it's not good enough. You know, every year we started off with 3, and then we got an extra 2, and then we got an extra 2, and then we got an extra 2, and then we got an extra 1, and then a 1. You seeing the pattern? And now we're getting an extra 1 only 2 weeks' time. We need 2, something a bit more than just 1 set of bosses. Because unfortunately, endgame content is only getting rather repetitive, doing the same old boring fucking ops every 5 minutes. And bring back Cragger's Palace and Eternal Vault as fucking nightmare. You know? Stop taking things out of the game. Like, you've taken the gear system out of the game, really. All that time and energy I spent into building those fucking set bonus sets. And now you've taken them out of the game. Entirely. No longer need them. They're now on implants instead. So now you have implants for your set bonuses. Well done you. And then you wonder why, again, you're fucking off half the people around the world. As for the dress designer bit, fucking absolutely, about fucking time. So now, I can now add a weapon to my set designer. So I can now have a weapon on without putting anything inside it. Brilliant. Same with an armour set. The loadouts, on the other hand, need to be changed a little bit better, so that I can just click on one and it will just fucking give me my gear set and my rotation the way I mapped it out. Instead of changing, I've now got to sort my fucking rotation back out again. More to the point, this is where you could use some brain cells, EA. You're the cunts making the game. Why don't you just make an in-game guide for everyone that discusses the rotation? Put it on a website. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, of course. I'm still, you know, even if you give me my rotation, I'm still going to probably change it. Because I always open with my saber throw. I throw my saber, I then jump on the cunt. I then fucking guard myself with saber to reflect. And then I start smashing the fuck out of him. But this rotation almost, for me, over a 10-year experience of tanking, doesn't make any fucking sense. Stun, stun. Double stun. One after the other. Honestly, does not make any sense whatsoever. And to take away certain styles of combat, like sweeping slash, for instance, I've got to have that at all times. You know, and the point of the matter is that it would be good to not have half the shit that you need taken away from you. Like, yes, okay, so it's situational, but if I want to keep aggro off somebody, you know, especially in a flashpoint, for instance, AoE, that's my AoE, you know. But then taking away things like the freezing thing, like the intimidating roar. I love that power, but now I've not got it anymore. Because I need to take away Saber Reflect. How fucking dumb is that? Mad Dash. You've taken that away from me too. So I've now got the choice between Saber Reflect, which is a tank must, Intimidating Roar, which neutralises 8 enemies, stuns them all. Mad Dash, something that we all used to use a million times as tanks to get the fuck out of the way. Why on earth have you put those 3 in the same category, you useless bastards? Like, fucking hell. I was talking to a DPS yesterday during Cragger's Palace, where I told him to use a threat drop. And he's like, yeah, but those are situational. I'm like, no, they're fucking not. You should be hitting that every time it procs. Why? Because it lowers your fucking thread generation, you fucking retard. Why would you want to be the highest hitting fucking blah blah blah? You don't want to be like, you need to hit them. Any decent DPS will hit his threat drop during his rotation and lower his threat generation. Like, any decent DPS will also self-cleanse themselves instead of expecting a healer to do it. You know, I've seen really good fucking players play this game. I've been playing with some of them recently, in Nerf and Nim especially, where you don't even have to ask the fucking healer to cleanse. They're straight on it. They're like, I can self-cleanse myself on 1, 3 and 5. You just need to do me on 2, 4 and 6. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Done. Wow, that was easy, wasn't it? I'll do the same. I do the straight up same. By the way, I'm going to need a clean on 2, 4 and 6. Yeah, no worries, mate. I can handle 1, 3 and 5. Because I'm already pre-programmed that the first one's mine. So all I do is hit F and I'm clean. You know? Done. Endure pain. That cleanses me. Problem solved. And to be blunt, I mean, I went into Scum and Villainry the other day for the first time in a year, and I nearly fucking cried, because the rating was just unreal. What the actual flying fuck. I did enjoy it, but it was almost like, come on, for fuck's sake, like, more to the point, like, why are you even joining hard mode if you're not hitting that damage? Like, seriously, you can't just walk into hard mode at 320 expecting to do enough DPS. It's not going to happen. You need to be in decent gear for it. Yes, okay, so it's only a little bit of it. But if you're not doing, like yesterday during KP, I turned around and was like, it's a little bit on the overkill on the lightning damage, by the way, considering all my DPSs are, apart from one, is fucking lightning damage. So I had an 8-man team with 4 of them being lightning damage. and I had a Marauder. It was good, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, the lightning effect in your eyes for that length of time killed me. By the time I signed out last night, my eyes were killing me. Absolutely fucking killing me. And I ended up having to rest my eyes for the rest of the night. I just couldn't focus. And I woke up this morning and I couldn't even focus. My eyes been hurting. It's just way too much lightning. I really don't understand the obsession with lightning damage, DPS. Personally, it's not for me. But each to their own. I do like Mercenary. It's more of my go-to fuck around DPS, but it's good fun to play. But yeah, if you've got any likes, comments, shares, whatever, share your opinions with me. I'd love to hear your view. Like, seriously, I love this game. I've been playing it for 10 years this December, and I always come back to it no matter what. Like, the last time I left, I knew that was it. I was done. But I still got pulled back. Even after everything that happened, I still got pulled back to this game. Because this game, I adore and love. And no matter what happens in my life, I will always come back to this game. Eventually. And the way it's going for me at the moment, it's a tragic event to see SWTOR go in the manner that I feel it's going to go in. Because eventually this game is going to cease to function without a sequel. I've got a funny feeling this game's going to end without a sequel. And I hate to say it, but we need a company that's going to take over this game. And that has to be, I'm going to have to say, that has to be Disney. I mean, as much as I hate what they've done to Star Wars and the new films, I'm probably going to get slandered here, but at the end of the day, I don't like the new films. I think they're a little bit wet behind the ears. The storyline's just a little bit fucking wet for my liking. I don't like it. Like, I'm an original Star Wars fan, The originals are like 1, 2 and 3, okay. 1's a bit shit, but 2 and 3, okay. I like them. But personally, 4, 5 and 6, amazing, But 7, 8 and 9, no. The only one I liked from the new ones, I have to say, was the one before 4. The one that filled the gap between 3 and 4. I can't remember the bloody name of it now. It's the one where they go to that bloody island and they all fucking die. I honestly can't remember the fucking film now. It's going to drive me nuts. 2 secs. Rogue One. I didn't even need to see the name of it. It ended up just coming to me. Rogue One. There we are. I loved Rogue One. Do you know why? Because it filled a gap in the fucking story. That's what I want to see more of. Like, fill the gaps in. Like Disney, here's a brilliant one for you. Start filling in the gaps. Instead of creating a Han Solo film, and then this film, and then that film, and then this film, and then this film, and then that film, start filling in the gaps. I'd love to see what happened to Anakin during his little tiny life between 1 and 2. Like, that would be quite... I want to see him being trained up. I want to see him going through all that shit. Not get to the next film and he's already like an adult. That sounded really wrong, didn't it? In a not pleasant way. But you know what I mean? I want to see the younger version of Anakin Skywalker growing up into an actual Jedi Master and being trained as a Jedi Master. I want to see him get, failing and blah blah blah, and being taught all the things he's being taught, instead of him being a fucking teenager, young adult. Like, that sounds really bad again. I've just put my foot in it. In a not so fucking paedophilic way then, alright? There we go. I would like to see how he got from where he was when he started to where he got to when the next storyline started. You know? Instead of it just being, where the fuck's the rest of the story then? Because in all fairness, you're missing 12 years of someone's life. It's almost like going, waking up from a coma and don't remember anything for the last 10 years. Well, that's a long time of my life. What the fuck's happened to it? Mind blank. There's no movie there. Sorry, mate. No one's planning on making a movie for that event because there's no point. Well, yeah, there is. The point of the matter is, I'd like to see more Star Wars films, but not in the same manner as they built this one. But I do feel that if Disney invested the money, because they got such a large bank account, that they could invest some money into this game. And I very much doubt we'd walk away from it without a sequel. Here's one for you. Okay, EA, if you're listening, get rid of the fucking credit sellers, right? And just hear me out. Ban all the credit sellers. Get fucking rid of them, right? Do you know how you solve that problem? I'll give you the solution right now. You see this little button up here where it says Cartel Market? Click on it. Open it up. View ledger. Add coins. You're missing a section right here. Do you know what that section's called? Add credits. And do you know what you do? You add credit button so that people can buy credits. Then everything on this stops selling these and only sell everything that comes out of these in here. And rather than selling it with this, sell it with credits. Which means players then have to buy credits, which then they can use to either purchase stuff off the GTN like materials and other bits and pieces from other players. So you've still got a galactic trade network and you've also still got a cartel market. So players then buy whatever the fuck they want to buy from you, making you the money from this. No more hypercrates, which will then also set the boundary of you're in charge of the fucking game, which means you control the fucking price, which means now you set a limit to every damn fucking item you create in a game that you can place on GTN for that price. Then, every year, you decide whether it's going to go up in value or not. And the way to do it is you put that gear, even yourself, can be thrown onto this to be brought by other characters who have to purchase it with credits, which you have to purchase through you, which then makes you the fucking money from the credits, which means no more credit sellers, because all you do is you out fucking bid them. You basically make it so cheap to buy the fucking credits that they can't be in business anymore. Job done. The stupid thing about it is I saw one the other day, right? I was stood on Fleet, I saw one of these idiot fucking credit sellers whisper me their bloody website, and I thought, you know what, in 10 years I've never once gone on one of these websites, ever. I just want to see what it's like. So I jumped on this website. I can't even remember the name of the company now. Credits fucking easy or some load of bollocks. And I was like, fucking hell. They sell you items as well. Like, you can actually buy items from them. You can actually buy, like, even hypercrates. And the stupid fucking thing is, it cost me nearly £24 for a hypercrate. But you can buy one of them from them for like half the fucking price. And then wonder why there's a problem. And then you wonder why there's a problem with currency in this game currently now. And someone said to me the other day, well, all you got to do is just up the currency and up the price on GTN. So rather than having a maximum of $1 billion on GTN, put it to a maximum of 4.5 billion. Yeah, but you know what? That will cause a problem. If you up the fucking level of money you can make from GTN straight away, you'll notice that the price will just increase and keep increasing until people can't afford to fucking, they have to sell their NAN just to be able to fucking play SWTOR. It would be ridiculous. And unfortunately, right, there you are. Swtor Central. Swtor Central, you've just made it famous in my video. Say hello to Sam, everyone. He's just joined the channel, Red Leader. I'll have to tag him in that. Hands down, great lad. Absolute great lad. And he's almost as disappointed with this game as I am. In fact, probably a little bit more than I am. I'm disappointed, but I'm not at probably the same state. I mean, I'm still playing, but I'm just a little bit disappointed. I'm angry and disappointed because I love this game. I really do, and there are so many things that could be massively improved about the game. Like, where's the expansion? I've got an amazing expansion that you guys could do. You need to get in contact with me. Like, seriously, the expansion that I've got planned out in my brain would make you so much fucking money. It's unreal. Yes, there you go. Now you're cottoned on, aren't you? Yeah, take the hook. Come on, take the bait. Go on, baby. Take the bait. Take it. Take it like a little bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously. Take the fucking bait. Contact me. I've got you an expansion that would not only bring back a massive amount of gamers, but make you a fuck ton of money. And do you know why? Because it will make you a fuck ton of money, because everyone will want to play it. And instead of giving it away for a 1 month subscription charge, sell that bitch for 12 fucking quid. Because people will pay it. That's the problem. You get away with paying for expansions and put in there just pay for a fucking sub fund that 1 month. Which, in all fairness, has hammered the fucking shit out of SWTOR. Because people subscribe for 1 month, get the content, and that's it. They unsubscribe. And instead of it being you pay £12 and you have to be a subscriber to play it. Get rid of FTP and preference. Get rid of both of them. What you want to do is introduce a system where you give away to new players a chance to play the game at full spec for 1 week. 1 week. Or 1 week after they turn 80 would be good. On one character. That's it. So, you get to level 80, you've got a week from there to play as much content as you want, and after that, you need to make up your mind whether you want to be a subscriber or not. Job done. Also, another thing I'd like to point out here is combat styles. Right, so I've got legacy change, so I can change out my discipline whenever I want to. Off the bat. Why can't I change this? If I don't want to be a guardian anymore and say I want to play something different, like a shadow, why can't I change it? That bit sucks. let's be fair, you're leaving me with a second class that I only clicked on that because I completely forgot I'm already one of them. That's all it was. I'm a Juggernaut. I don't need to be a Guardian. I already am one. Just on the dark side. So I'm now left with a second discipline that I almost don't fucking want. Like, it's really bad, isn't it? Like, come on. I probably should have gone all my warriors as Guardians or Juggernauts, and then my Inquisitors as Inquisitors and fucking like the Sorcerers and Assassins and blah blah blah, because I could have done the same with Sniper Operative, and that would have been really good fun. But at the same time, that would have left me with a couple of characters that I probably wouldn't have been able to play. But it would have still been fun, because I still would have had like 4 tanks, just not 4 of the same tank. Because I don't mind tanking on Assassin and Shadow, it's just I don't, you know, if you asked me who I'd prefer to tank on in any operation, if you told me that we're going into S&V, like, veteran, what tank am I taking? Well, I don't need to say any more on what tank I'd take in. It's going to be first killer, isn't it? Whereas Tresmika, or whatever its fucking name is, I'm not really going to take, because I don't really know. It's not that I don't know, it's just I don't really like it. It just looks really wank when you're tanking. Like, I'm not being funny, but it does. For me, it just doesn't feel like tanking. It just doesn't for me. Like, each their own, but I don't feel like a tank. I feel almost too squishy to be a tank. Like, I've got all this extra health, but almost like I feel rather squishy. Like, you know, I don't like it. So for me, it's a big no-no. For me, hands down, Juggernaut. Power techs are alright, power techs and vanguards, but again, vanguards and power techs, I mean, what can I say about vanguards and power techs? They can't cleanse themselves, which is fucking useless when you go up against things like Nerfer, where you need to be able to self-cleanse yourself. You're just putting more strain on the healers that are already strained out anyway, and especially when you go into an ops group with some new ones like I've had recently, where they're struggling to be able to self-cleanse everybody. Cleanse everybody. I mean, I've had tanks that don't know how to fucking tank coming into nerfing in. I'm like, what the fuck? I've never been a tank, I've just switched. Why are you doing nerfing it? Because I know how to do it, I've just never done it. Like, yeah, do that shit in SM first. I'm fucking coming here with the plan to nerf Nim. Like, fucking hellfire. Like, serious. Yeah, but I know what I'm doing. Yeah, but you've never done it before, have you? So, like, you know, I will give it. It took 5 attempts, which wasn't bad. One of those being my mistake, because he put me off my footing. But, yeah, I mean, it took me 5 attempts, as Sam. Swtor Central. Like, when we did it, it took 5 attempts. And I tell you what, I couldn't have asked for a better team. Like, seriously, you guys need to follow me or whatever. But, you know, you guys are absolutely fucking amazing with me that day. And you literally said, I can remember it after you finished. They were like, no, well done, mate. Well done you. Because I was literally at the stage like, look, guys, I'm letting you down. I'm not good enough for this. And they're like, no, you stay where you are. We will stay here until you get it. Because we need you to learn this, mate. Because you're always doing content. And if you're not doing this, you're never going to be able to do the content because you're never going to have the gear for it. And I know what you're like. You want the gear. You want to be able to do the content. You need to be like, you know, 330 to do most fucking stuff. And he's right. I want to be in 330 gear because I don't want to be going into operations where I'm only fucking 326. in mixed rate and gear. I want to be in 330 fucking gear, so I know that I'm, you know, capable of anything. I'm not struggling with guys that already are in 330 gear, that are just in it because they need some comms. Laughing and joking aside, I mean, yesterday was the first time that I've actually worked alongside 2 strokes, or in fact three of them, absolutely amazing guys from Straight My Wookie, which I was surprised about, absolutely fucking amazed with. Came along, went in, done. I turned around to the guy and said, look, I ain't got a code tank, I've got someone who's willing to like relog as a DWT. Yeah, no worries mate, I'll do that. Straight away, straight into his DWT, and off he went. He literally said, I whisper your Fez, no worries mate, cheers for that. He relogged, went straight over to his DWT, came back with his power tech, and off he went. No wipes, straight away, right off the bat. I was like, mate, that's pretty impressive considering you told me you'd never done it before. And you pulled him off me and you survived. We're at the droid boss where we finally realised that our DPS, because like normal I don't have star pass, fucking some strange reason I don't have star pass set up. I'm a raid leader who don't have star pass set up. I know it's fucking nuts, right? I shouldn't really have to though, because I should be able to trust the people on fleet that when they come into the operations teams that, you know, in all fairness, they're going to do the damage. If you're not doing the right amount of damage, you shouldn't be joining the team. If you're not hitting that fucking amount of damage every single time, you shouldn't be coming into the teams. You're not ready for it. And until you get up to those numbers, you're still not fucking ready for it. Like yesterday, the only reason we survived so many times is because we had Straight My Wookie, who were doing 20k damage per fucking second. Every second. Without fail. Here's the fucking logically funny thing behind this. I, as a tank, was doing more damage than a DPS. Again. I out fucking DPS a solid DPS. Two secs. So anyway, I'm going to end this video because it's reset time. So what I'm going to intend to do is I'm going to come back at a later date and do some more videos. I want to go over specs and advanced specs and various other bits and pieces, gearing guides and various other bits and pieces that I'm going to bring to not only my guild but also my channel, because I think that personally it should be brought in. I did a guide on Discord about this. I've been gearing in this game for a long time. Once I've done this, I'll relog to Repso and go tank. But yeah, anyway, I need to relog because I'm just about going to Nephronim with this guy from the dark side, so I need to wait for that before anything else. Okay, just hang tight till this imp one is done. Yeah, so but yeah, I'll be making a lot more guides on my Steam on my YouTube channel. Probably doing some more updates. I mean, it's only 2 weeks until the next update is done, so hopefully by then the update will come down and be released, and hopefully I'll be about for that. At the moment, I don't know what's going to go on with me. I might not be around for a little while because of current problems. So, yeah, it's a long story, but to cut it short, there might be a few minor things changing in the next couple of weeks. So I might be without ability to get about. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to dash off because I need to go clean my boys out and get ready for this Nerf and Nim and stuff. But yeah, just like, subscribe, you know the score, and I'll see you again. Ciao for now.